London and Moscow are two global capitals. Both are powerful. Both are famous. Yet when night falls, many people surprisingly prefer Moscow over London. Not because London lacks venues, and not because Moscow is cheaper, but because the night in these two cities feels fundamentally different. Part 1. The streets do not sleep. One of the strongest reasons many people prefer Moscow nightlife over London is not found inside clubs or bars. It is found on the streets. In Moscow, the night does not disappear once venues open. It expands. Wide avenues remain active. Pedestrian zones stay crowded. People walk without urgency. They stop. They talk. They linger. The city does not rush anyone inside. Nightlife remains visible. In Moscow, energy belongs to public space. Cafes open toward the street. Terraces stay active. Music and conversation blend into the city itself. You do not need a destination to feel part of the night. Simply being outside is enough. This creates a sense of shared presence. In London, the experience is different. When pubs close, streets empty quickly. Crowds thin. Movement becomes directional. People are not staying. They are going somewhere. Nightlife retreats indoors. Behind doors, behind security, behind schedules. Outside, the city feels quiet, controlled, reset. This difference matters more than venue quality. For many people, nightlife is not about entering places. It is about feeling surrounded by movement. Moscow offers that feeling through density and visibility. London offers nightlife through structure. Another key difference is pace. In Moscow, walking at night feels unhurried. Groups move slowly. Time stretches. There is no collective signal telling people it is time to leave. In London, the city communicates closure, subtly but clearly. Lighting changes. Transport schedules tighten. The night contracts. People who prefer Moscow nightlife often describe the same sensation. They feel less managed. They are not following the city. The city follows them. This sense of freedom begins on the streets. And for many, once nightlife remains alive in public space, everything else feels secondary, because when the streets do not sleep, the night feels shared. Part 2. Time feels different at night. Another major reason many people prefer Moscow nightlife over London is not immediately visible. It is not about music. It is not about venues. It is about time. In Moscow, time behaves differently after dark. The night does not feel segmented. There is no sharp beginning and no clear ending. Instead, the city allows the night to stretch. Cafes remain open late. Restaurants serve food well past midnight. People sit without watching the clock. Conversations are not rushed. Moments are not interrupted by closing announcements. The night flows. In London, nightlife follows a different logic. Time is structured. There is an opening window, a peak moment, and then a clear conclusion. Pubs close early. Music stops abruptly. Crowds move all at once. The night contracts. People begin calculating. Last trains, night buses, taxi availability. Movement becomes logistical. This difference shapes how people feel. In Moscow, the absence of a strict cutoff removes pressure. People stop counting minutes. They stop planning exits. They stay because they want to, not because they must leave soon. Time feels open. Transportation plays a quiet but powerful role. Moscow remains connected late into the night. The metro runs late. Night buses continue. Movement feels supported. This creates confidence. People do not rush home. They drift. In London, transport defines the night's boundaries. Schedules dictate decisions. The city gently pushes people toward closure. For many people, nightlife represents escape. Escape from structure. Escape from schedules. Escape from daily discipline. Moscow offers that escape through time flexibility. London limits it through time management. This is why many describe Moscow nightlife as longer. Not because clocks move differently, but because the city does not hurry the night to end. Time feels owned by the people, not managed by the system. And when time feels open, the night feels free. Part 3. Public energy vs. private spaces. Another key difference between Moscow and London nightlife is where the energy lives. In Moscow, nightlife energy exists in public. It is visible. It is shared. It belongs to the street. People do not disappear once they arrive somewhere. They linger outside cafes. They stand in groups. They talk. They observe. Simply being present places you inside the nightlife. In Moscow, the street itself becomes a stage. Fashion is visible. Music spills outward. Movement feels performative. You do not need to enter a venue to feel included. There is no threshold to cross. No permission required. The night welcomes participation. London operates differently. Nightlife energy is mostly contained. It moves behind doors, inside clubs, inside bars, inside controlled spaces. Entry points define access. You queue. You wait. You pass security, or you move on. Energy becomes selective. For many people, this creates distance. They walk past venues. They hear music through walls. They see crowds, but do not feel part of them. Nightlife becomes something you watch, not something you inhabit. This difference shapes emotional experience. Public energy creates feedback. When people see others enjoying themselves, they feel invited to join. Laughter spreads. Movement multiplies. Atmosphere builds naturally. In Moscow, energy accumulates. Each group adds to the night. In London, energy resets. Once you leave a venue, it disappears. The street returns to neutrality. The night fragments into isolated pockets. This structure provides privacy and control. For some, that feels comfortable. For others, it feels limiting. People who prefer Moscow nightlife often describe the same feeling. They do not feel like customers. They do not feel like guests. They feel like participants. Because when energy belongs to public space, the night stops being private. It becomes collective. And that collective presence is what many people remember long after the night ends. Part 4. Emotion over efficiency. At its core, the preference for Moscow nightlife over London comes down to one fundamental difference: emotion versus efficiency. London nightlife is designed to function smoothly. People arrive, they socialize, they leave. Everything follows an invisible system of timing, rules, and flow. Security manages behavior. Schedules manage movement. Noise limits manage expression. The night works. Moscow nightlife follows a different logic. It is not optimized for speed. It is not optimized for order. It is optimized for feeling. Music is louder. Conversations last longer. Gestures are larger. Reactions are visible. The night encourages expression rather than restraint. In Moscow, emotional intensity is not treated as a problem. It is treated as part of the experience. People stay out longer than planned. They lose track of time. They meet strangers without intention. Moments are allowed to unfold without correction. These moments create memory. London approaches nightlife with balance in mind. Enjoyment is present, but moderated. Expression exists, but contained. The city protects predictability. For many people, this feels safe and comfortable. But for others, safety removes spontaneity. This difference shapes how nights are remembered. In London, memories are often tied to venues, specific places, specific events. In Moscow, memories are tied to emotions. Laughter in the street, conversations that drift into morning, moments without clear beginnings or endings. Emotion creates connection. When people feel free to express themselves, they connect faster and more deeply. Shared music, shared movement, shared intensity. Moscow nightlife builds connection through feeling. London nightlife builds experience through design. Neither approach is wrong. They simply answer different desires. London asks, how smoothly should the night run? Moscow asks, how deeply should the night be felt? And for many people, especially after long days and structured lives, feeling wins, because a night remembered for how it felt often lasts longer than a night remembered for how well it worked. Final verdict. So why do many people ultimately prefer Moscow over London at night? The answer is not found in clubs. It is not found in prices, and it is not found in popularity rankings. It is found in how the night feels. Moscow offers a night that feels open. Open streets, open time, open expression. The city does not rush people. It does not compress the experience. It allows the night to unfold naturally. People stay because they want to. They move because they feel like it. They leave when the night feels complete. London offers a different promise. A night that feels managed, structured schedules, clear boundaries, controlled environments. The experience is polished, safe, and efficient. Everything works as expected. For many people, this is ideal, but efficiency is not always what people seek after dark. Nightlife is rarely about entertainment alone. It is about release, about stepping outside routine, about feeling part of something larger than oneself. Moscow delivers this through visibility, endurance, and shared presence. London delivers comfort, privacy, and predictability. Neither city is better. They simply serve different personalities. People who choose Moscow are not rejecting London. They are choosing intensity over structure, presence over privacy, emotion over management. And people who choose London are not missing out. They are choosing balance over chaos, control over excess, routine over unpredictability. In the end, Nightlife reveals something deeper, not the character of a city, but the character of the person walking through it. So now the question turns to you. Which night would you choose? London or Moscow? Write your answer in the comments. Stay safe, subscribe for more comparison videos, and we will see you in the next one.